everything about my labor and delivery. Guys, my name is Adima and you're welcome back to Parentscoop. So you're welcome to another story time with me, and today I am going to be giving you the deets, the gist, so this video is going to be in two parts because I have two kids and I want to give you people all the details, because you may have heard that no two pregnancies are the same or no two deliveries are the same. This was my case. Okay, this is going to be part one. Let's get into it now. So my beautiful baby girl, her name is Michelle. She was born May 2020, and let me give you a little bit of a few days leading to the day. Okay, so I remember I used to go for walks, because as a first time mama, let me tell you, I used to binge on like YouTube, Google, what to do for easier labor, because I heard that it was labor is hard already, so a few tips and tricks to make your labor go easy. So one of them was walking or exercising, and me, I never used to exercise anyways before I was pregnant, so is it now I will now be exercising anyway. So I took the walking approach. So I remember I used to walk a lot. So this particular day in the evening, I was actually quite tired that day. Oh yeah, it was like after my husband's birthday, so I had like cooked a storm and everything, so I know I was tired this particular day. I was like, oh, let me still go for the walk. At this point I was getting closer to my due date. It was about 2 weeks or less, around that mark, to my due date. So at this time I was already tired, but I was like, let me just take a walk. Maybe I'll walk a shorter distance this time. So then I go for my walk and I was feeling like this pain. I remember I was walking with my friend. I was telling her that I'm feeling some pain, and she thought I was joking because I didn't want to walk, but I was actually feeling pains. But I guess those were Braxton Hicks, because that's not when that's not the same day she came. Anyways, fast forward, that night I slept okay, the pain had gone, and then in the morning around like 5 a.m. I woke up to this pain, and I'm like, what is this feeling? What is this feeling? So yeah, I just went to the bathroom. I came back and laid down a bit. I thought, okay, maybe it will subside, and I didn't think it was like it was time. So I tried to go back to bed, but I couldn't really go back to bed. I was still in pain, but it was like manageable pain. It was like a tummy ache kind of pain, So yeah, I pulled through the pain. My husband was still sleeping, and at the point I didn't want to wake him up in case it was false alarm. What if the pain goes away? So I waited a little bit. I think this was 2 hours later. It was 7 a.m. at this time. He had woken up, so I told him, I've been having pain. Oh, it's like, why didn't you wake me up? I'm like, I don't think this is the real deal. Anyways, the pain was still manageable, but I think at this point it started getting more intense. Like, I could feel that this might really be it. So, and again, because of all my binging of videos and stuff, I didn't also want to go to the hospital so early. So I was like, okay, I'll labor for as long as I could at home. So then these were contractions pain, just to confirm contractions had started. But again, at that 7 a.m. it was still manageable. And I was like, okay, let me go take a shower, because again, my binge watching, some people said running water, have a bath, it will help. It will help to and to help with the pain. So here I am going to take a shower. It's like the pain even got worse, because I remember I was in the shower, and when the contraction came, I had to like pause. I was like, it was not, the water did not help me any bit. So yeah, I finished taking a shower. Oh yeah, and then I remember as well, that day was also my checkup. I was scheduled for a checkup, so I think that's also another reason why I didn't want to go to the hospital so early, because I was going to see my doctor anyways. The appointment was supposed to be later in the afternoon. Fast forward now, finished showering. This pain was getting, like, the contractions was getting closer. They were getting closer to each other. So unlike before, when, you know, one contraction will come and then it will stop, and maybe for another 30 minutes, maybe 1 hour before another one came. But then closer, as the hours kept on going, contractions were getting closer, the pain was getting more intense. And then I also had this app on my phone where you could time the contractions. So I was timing the contractions. So if you're expecting, or maybe you've had a baby, you know that there's a 5-1-1 rule. So meaning that contractions will come every 5 minutes and it will last 1 minute, and it should be consistent for 1 hour. So when I was timing, like using my timer tracker, contraction tracker, I hadn't reached that 5-1-1 minutes, even though it seemed like the pain was getting more intense and it was, you know, not too far apart. It still wasn't there yet. Anyway, so I was here still trying to wait for my checkup time. I was not able to eat. I was very uncomfortable. I was in pain. Again, at this point, the pain was still manageable. So fast forward a few more hours and the pain did not stop. So I knew that this is real. This is the real stuff. And the sad part was, I'd taken my last day at work so that I can have like 2 weeks of like relaxing before her due date. And she was like, no, I'm gonna come before you even get to enjoy your holiday. I only enjoyed one day out of the 2 weeks, and then the next day she said, I am ready to come. Anyways, so going back, fast forward a few more hours. At this point, I believe I tried to eat, and then a few minutes later and I started puking. And I was actually worried because I'm like, I don't remember seeing puking. When I was doing my research and watching all these YouTube videos, I don't remember seeing anybody that actually was vomiting during labor. So I now started getting scared. So yeah, I started getting scared, but then I was like, let me just wait a little bit, let's just see, you know. But then I puked again, and at this point I had not eaten. Like, I couldn't eat. Like I said, they said take ice. I wasn't even in the mood to take anything. I was like, I can't eat. So after the second puke, I was like, okay, maybe it's time to go to the hospital. And at this point it was really getting intense. At this point I could not hold it. Like, it was really bad. The contractions were getting very painful. And Simeo, I was trying to do strong woman. In my head I said that I am not going to get any medication for the pain, because I did my research, and epidural, they said there's side effects, this one there's side effects, that one there's side effects. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try my best not to take any medication that maybe it's not that bad, you know. So after puking again, and then it was just getting too much, I was like, okay, I need to go to the hospital. And I was not going to the hospital to, you know, to get any medication at that point, because in my head I was like, okay, I can do this, you know. It was already a few hours. I was like, okay, you know, this is doable. Anyways, fast forward, I finally went to the hospital. I didn't go for my doctor's appointment because that was again later in the afternoon, but it was still kind of morning time. So I just went to the emergency part. They have like an emergency department for, you know, labor and delivery. So that's where I went to. And then they came, they did their own checks, they put the monitor on the baby just to make sure that, you know, her heartbeat was going well, and that they also put like a contraction, I don't know if I call it measurement or some sort of thing on my belly anyways, to monitor the contractions. And then so yeah, maybe 1 hour later she confirmed that yes, I was having contractions, but I wasn't dilated. You know, you're supposed to be 10 cm dilated. I believe I was only at 2 or 3. And so she was like, yeah, except you want to get medicated, there's nothing we can do. You just have to go home and continue laboring. And me, of course, why do I like suffer head like this? Anyways, it's because I was scared of the side effects of the medication. So I was like, okay, I'll go home, because at that point again I wasn't ready to take the medication yet. It's like all that side effects. I was like, okay, I'll just go home. I'll be more comfortable at home. You know, I can lie down on my bed, or I can lie down on my couch, you know, as opposed to just staying in the hospital bed. Like that scene alone was just so depressing already. So I was like, okay, I'll go back. And then she let me know like I can come back if there's any bleeding, or again, if, like I told you, 511 rule, if the contractions were happening much closer and more consistent. Yeah, so then I went home. 2 to 3 hours, I was still laboring in pain. I still could not eat because I was in so much pain. Like I was in so much pain. If you know anybody that's a mother, you have a mother, just go and dash them money, because the pain the pain they go through is not easy. That alone, I'm like, anyways. 2 to 3 hours later, the pain was hitting me. It was hitting me. I could not lie down, I could not sit down. I was like, oh my god, what kind of life is this? The pain was a lot. This was past lunchtime at this point, so I've been laboring for over 6 hours, and I was hoping that, oh okay, maybe now it's time, you know. So at the point where I could not sit down or lie down or do anything, I was like, okay, I am going to get this epidural. Let's go. I cannot hold it anymore. Let's go. So then I told my husband, okay, it's time to go. I have to go and take the medication. I cannot hold it anymore. I'm in so much pain. I can't sit down, I can't lie down, I cannot walk, I cannot do anything. It's just miserable. I was miserable. I could not even hold a conversation. The pain was just so bad. It was getting closer and closer and closer. And then on my timer, it actually, yes, my timer did reflect the 511. So then I was like, okay, let's go. I'm tired, I need medicine. I even remember trying to walk from my apartment to the elevator. I couldn't do it. Like I would walk and then the contractor would come and I would just be stuck. Like it was bad. But I managed to get there. And then I remember in the car as well, like I was it was bad. It was bad. I wish I was vlogging at that time so that if people can see, it's like you won't understand the pain. But trust me, if you think that you've had pain that is, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10 and you think it's 10, that pain was on 100%. okay? I was in so much pain. I was crying, I was complaining, I was whining. So here I am in the casket. Are we not there yet? Are we not there yet? I need this medicine ASAP, people. We finally get to the hospital. Again, it was so hard for me to get out of the car and walk to the elevator. Again, like the second time, it was so much pain. It was not easy, guys. It was not easy. Anyways, I finally got there. Then when I got to the building of the labor and delivery, they were able to get me on a wheelchair. So I sat down there. And then these people, they should find out another process. These people, they have pre-registration, and I thought that pre-registration is so that when you come for the real delivery and you are in pain, they don't have to ask you so many questions. They were still asking me so many questions. Your health card, your name, your date of birth, this, address, phone number. I'm like, oh, I couldn't even answer. It was my husband that was answering because I was in pain. Pain was blinding me. I could not see. I could not hear through all that pain. Anyway, so yeah, finally they took me upstairs to the labor and delivery room, and then the nurses came. Oh yeah, and the other reason why I didn't want an epidural is that they said it to slow down birth or the baby coming out. So I was like, we don't want to slow down anything, we just want it fast. Anyway, when the nurses came, they checked me and she confirmed how many cm I was dilated. I was still not at 10 yet. I believe at this point I was on 6. Then she asked that would I that do I want anything for the pain. I said yes, I want the epidural because that is the one I was hearing about that is trusted. You take it and you are not feeling nothing, no pain. It's like heaven when they say that when we go to heaven there's no pain. That's how epidural is. That's what they said it would be, that once you take it, you know, you don't feel anything. So yeah, she now arranged for the anesthesiologist or whoever that was bringing the epidural for me. She said I should undress. I wore my hospital gown at this point, and then I just waited for while they were monitoring the baby and everything. I waited for the person that was bringing the epidural, but in this time I was still in pain. I was like, please, where are they? Where are they? Where are they? I'm still in pain. I can't hear what you people are saying. I just want to not feel this pain. Anyways, yeah, then the person with the epidural comes, and this is the part that I didn't know. I don't know, that in my research I didn't actually know. Like, I knew there were side effects, but the disclaimer that they said you should check and agree is like it can cause paralyzation. It could, the needle, you know, you have to be really stable. If you move the needle will this, that, it will cause this, it can cause that, it can cause this. I say, oh boy, I am in pain. At this point, that's all I'm thinking about. Hopefully by the grace of God I will not have any of these side effects that you are telling me, but right now is this pain that is my concern, so please get it out. So I said yes, I agree, sign here, sign. I signed. I said, just give me this thing, okay, give it to me. Okay, yeah, so the epidural, if you don't know, it's like an injection. They put it right in your back. You're supposed to hold a position. You're not supposed to move. Imagine how hard that is. Like, I'm still going through my own contractions and you're telling me not to move, that if I move I might be paralyzed. But I tried, and then I just stayed there, and then they finally gave me the epidural. It was like magic. The pain was gone. I could feel nothing. I could literally feel nothing from my waist to my toes. I felt nada, okay, nada. At this point I was smiling again. I could talk, I could see, I could hear something else other than my pain. Anyway, so yeah, and you guys, at this point it was 6 o'clock. So can you imagine this little baby girl from 5 a.m. I have already been laboring for about 12 hours and she still did not come, and I was still not fully dilated. Can you believe it? Anyways, so then 6 o'clock after the epidural, I was okay. I'm like, okay, if you like, she can continue taking her time. At least I will be able to sleep, you know, at that point, because I was on top of the world. I'm on top of the world. Anyway, so I was feeling myself. I was like, I was in heaven. No pain in heaven. At that point, my doctor she was on call, but she hadn't arrived at the hospital just yet. They checked me every 1 hour, and I was still not dilated up to 10 cm. So when my doctor finally arrived, she was like, okay, your water hasn't broken yet. Let's break the water and see if that will speed up the dilation. And so she came in and she broke my water. women go through a lot too. After she broke my water, it was now time. Okay, so again, that epidural, hey, epidural was so powerful. I could not even feel anything. Imagine, it was my doctor and my nurses telling me when to push. This is what they told me. They were like, when you feel the pressure of the baby, I should push. And I told them, I am not feeling anything. So she's like, okay, we'll tell you when to push. So then they were counting down, and then I because they were obviously seeing the baby's head from that side, they told me when it was time to push. So they're like, 1, 2, 3, push. And I pushed, and on my first time mothers, we try you, because how do you even push? They're like, push like you want to poop, but somebody else says if you push like you want to poop, you will tear. So how do you push? We need a whole lesson, prenatal classes. You people should include that in your this thing. Anyway, it was during COVID, to be fair, so my prenatal classes I had registered for was cancelled. So maybe they would have told me how to push if I actually attended one, but I wasn't able to because of COVID. Anyway, so after a few pushes, my baby came out. She came out right before midnight on that day. Oh yeah, she came out, and I remember at that point, like, they just threw her on me. They didn't just throw her on me, but it felt like they threw her on me, because I mean, it was my first time. So here I am holding this person. I'm like, it just felt strange. Like, who is this? It was just like a foreign thing on me. And then at that point, I think I had lost a lot of blood. So I remember I was feeling dizzy. So I was like, can you take her? I think I told my husband to take her. And then I was like, I'm feeling dizzy. And I remember one of my friends actually telling me that you have to speak up for yourself. So I remember when the baby came, I was telling her I'm dizzy. Like, I think they could not hear me because they're trying to clean up, and with all the commotion happening. And I remember telling my husband, like, I'm feeling dizzy, I'm feeling dizzy. And then they finally attended to me. They turned me on my side. I think my blood pressure was going down, or was it going up? I don't know, but something was happening to me that I don't know. I know I was feeling dizzy, like I was about to faint. So they turned me on my side. I started feeling much better. And then they told me that I had a tear. It was a 2nd-degree tear. Imagine, like, contraction is not enough, then I now have to come and tear. Painful tear. Thank God for the epidural, because as they were stitching things up, I didn't feel nada. And then I remember finally they were done. They cleaned up. I fed my baby. Normally when you give birth, I don't know about anywhere else, but at least in Halifax, Canada, they recommend skin to skin. So that's why as soon as the baby came out, they dropped her on my chest, even though at that point I was feeling dizzy, and I'm like, who is this person? I don't know you. Why are you here? But after all that, after I felt better, I took her back, and then they had asked me if I was going to breastfeed. So they said to, you know, breastfeed her, and this girl came out hungry, so, because she was able to eat. God is wonderful. How do they know? They just came out, they just like eating. How did you know how to eat? Anyways, so after all that, they told me to go try to use the bathroom. And at this point, I still could not feel my legs. My epidural was still working. It didn't wear off yet. So when they told me to go and pee, I'm like, I cannot feel anything. I can't even pee. I don't think I feel like peeing. I cannot feel anything. I could not even feel my legs. They had to hold me to take me to go to the bathroom. And then after a few hours of them checking, weighing the baby, doing that, and cleaning me up, they took me up to my room where I was going to stay for the next couple of nights. That night is when I now finally that's when the epidural finally wore off. So I remember trying to use the bathroom, my leg was paining me. This is when I was feeling the stitches they had stitched. That's when my real life started, with this newborn and sleepless nights. Anyways, yeah, so that's what happened the first time. Let me know in the comments what you think the difference was between my first birth and the second one, and please come back for part 2 to know if you were correct and you think the first time was easier than the second time, or yeah, let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe to my video. If you have been enjoying my videos, please do like, subscribe, and make sure to share and keep the conversation going.